William Ronald Coleman Payne was an author, ghostwriter, journalist, movie aficionado, literary representative, friend, and wannabe filmmaker. Born in Richmond, Virginia in 1950. A distant relative actor John Payne got an option to star in a James Bond movie Moonraker in 1956. Growing up along the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia, Ron Payne also became an avid reader of world literature. He began his collection of rare books that ultimately led to an important connection. Before that happened, in 1964 at the age of 14, Payne sold his first script about a government assassin to TV's Leslie Goodwin, who had directed episodes of Maverick and Highway Patrol. Ron's uncle film producer James Ellsworth also produced a colored documentary about Lieutenant General Lewis B. Chesty Puller, the most decorated Marine in history. John Ford directed the documentary and the on-camera host was John Wayne. Filming began in August 1968 at Puller's Virginia home. Ron was assigned as a C-10 to John Ford. Ron attended college for a brief period. He became a newspaper reporter and columnist. At one time he served as an apprentice copyboy for the Richmond Times-Dispatch. He spent many years living in Middlesex County, Virginia. In 1973, Ron authored his first novel Shadows in the Sun and it was published by Dorrance. He also contributed to other authors' books. In August 1975, Ron interviewed film director Terence Young, whom he met in Jamaica. Young, who directed Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Thunderball, was a charming man. Outside of Broccoli, Saltzman, and Connery, Young did more to get the Bond series rolling than any other person. He gave Ron many insights into those early years of the cinematic Bond. He, basically, taught Sean Connery how to talk, dress and behave as James Bond. According to Ron, Terence Young personified James Bond. While trying to find rare books, he went to London in 1979 with his then-wife and met and befriended Oswald Frederick Snelling, friend of the late Ian Fleming, rare book authority and author. Over the years becoming his literary agent in North America. He tried unsuccessfully to join Ian Productions. He interviewed Richard Burton, and the brother of producer Kevin McClory. He was one of the few individuals given access to the Sean Connery/Len Deighton script for Warhead. In 1982, Ron published a fanzine tying the literary and movie James Bond news into one publication. He had been working with O.F. Snelling on an updated version of the book 007 James Bond, a report. This was the only review book that was approved by Ian Fleming weeks before his death. I met him in October 1982 at a cancelled 007 convention in New York City, and never saw him again. We were both James Bond fans. While in Hollywood in 1986, trying to develop a film deal, Ron met George Lazenby. They became friends and helped each other over the next 29 years. Ron even tried to get Raymond Benson involved in a movie for George Lazenby. Ron wrote articles about his interviews with celebrities and celebrity-adjacent people. He was friends with actors Robert Winston Mercy and George Lazenby. Ron edited a children's book by Gene Hornsby. Ron began appearing as a guest of Dr. Wesley Britton, author and radio host of the Dave White program. Ron and Wes began a friendship that would last the rest of Ron's life. Ron became the literary agent for Jeffrey Jenkins, the author of Per Fine Ounce, the James Bond manuscript rejected before Colonel's Son was released. He connected author Peter Vollmer with the Jenkins estate to facilitate the publishing of Per Fine Ounce written by Vollmer with input from the original manuscript and without 007. Ron connected the McClory estate, a producer, and the Jenkins estate with Peter Vollmer in a quest to become a film producer in order to film Per Fine Ounce as a version of Thunderball or Never Say Never Again. Ron also planned on a film of Chesty Puller's war story Marine. We reconnected in 2010 and were pen pals for several years. In 2011, Ron learned that he had cancer. He had surgery to improve his odds in January of 2012. He lost that battle in 2015. These videos are an effort to add some permanence to his legacy. I have no knowledge of any descendants, and wish that he were remembered. Alan Hickerson, 2025.
He scribbled truths under neon skies, through the lens of fame where the shadow lies. Celebrities whispered their tales through his pen. Ronald Payne, voice of them. Actors and writers shared their fires, dreams of the screen lit his desires, producing worlds beyond the page. A journalist's dream, a filmmaker's stage. Actors and writers shared their fires, dreams of the screen lit his desires, producing worlds beyond the page. A journalist's dream, a filmmaker's stage. Ronald Payne chasing the light through the darkness of the night. Stilling and Jenkins called his name, through every twist he staked his claim. A cancer came like an unscored scene, a thief of time, cruel and unseen. He wrote his battle with a steady hand, a hero's arc he always planned. Fame and friendship, stars in his wake, the weight of stories he never fake. From interview rooms to Hollywood's crest, Ronald Payne gave his very best. Ronald Payne chasing the light through the darkness of the night. Stilling and Jenkins called his name, through every twist he staked his claim.